Hello again, and I'm now going to go into the topic of how far magic can go. When I say this, I am simply saying I'm giving an answer to a lot of people who may ask, well, what are the limits on what I can do in magic? And so I will tell you right now what the limits are. There are no limits what you can do in magic. The whole purpose of magic is to exact your will on the physical and non-physical levels. You can quite literally achieve many things that you would never have thought possible before. Excuse me. Now, I know a lot of times people say, well, sure, I can do this and that and make that manifest, but I don't actually see anything happen other than the thing manifesting. Well, the act alone of you being able to manifest a change through your own willpower is very, very divine. It's very, very unique to have that. However, there are parts of the brain that we have not yet completely accessed, like as a society. So realistically speaking, there's almost no limit to what we can do if we were to be using 100% processing power of our brain. There have been events in my own life where I have seen firsthand what the combined energy of the mind being awakened along with the physical body being awakened through the Kundalini energy and being ascended into the top of the head. I have seen some pretty interesting effects from this happening with myself. I will not go into too much detail about what they were, but I will say that the people around me have also noticed and experienced and seen firsthand an actual genuine work, if you will, of magic simply from my own energy awakenings that I have had occasionally. And in one instance, I was able to manipulate the fire element in what way I will not tell you, simply for privacy and for piquing your curiosity. So, with this said, you will either take any of this information as either complete bullshit, partial bullshit, or complete truth. So, I do not advise anyone to do any of these things. You simply listen to what you think will help you. By no means should anything I say be complete directions for you to do things. I can only give inspiration. It is not my purpose here with these videos to tell you how to do anything. It is simply to give you an idea of what you can do for your own workings. Now, is there a valid correctness in some of the things I mentioned? Yes, such as the general what you should do or what you should not do. Such as, when I say this, I'm referring back to when I mentioned the potential repercussions of a magical working that was done when you were not prepared for it. So, with this in mind, yes, you can still do what you want. Yes, you can still do this even if you feel, or if someone else feels you're not ready to do it. But I will say, prepare for the unexpected. I cannot stop you from doing anything, and I have no interest in stopping you from doing anything, because if anyone had done that to me in my magical practice, if I allowed anyone to stop me, I wouldn't be where I'm at today in my practice, and I would regret that very much. So I'm thankful for all the negative repercussions I got. But I cannot say the same for any person watching this, that they may enjoy the negative repercussions they got after a few years' time from now. So with this in mind, always take in consideration that what you get may not be what you expected if you continue to do something whenever you have not yet practiced prominently beforehand. Magic can go very, very far. Magic can accelerate your awareness. Magic can open new doors to new opportunities. It can do a lot of things. But it cannot happen simply by not doing anything. Magic can only happen through application of will and then exertion of it to the point that reality has no choice but to bend to that will. You see, the path of least resistance is the fundamental thing here. Let's say it's like electricity. Electricity is going to follow the path of least resistance. And through a wire, it will follow through the path of least resistance. Your will work in the same way. Path of least resistance. It will either happen in a way you didn't expect, or it may happen in a smaller way that you didn't expect but you may have more signs that that was your working than, say, something that was just entirely blatantly different than what you called out for. The biggest issue with people, I think, who are getting into magic these days is that they have this predominant idea that something has to be meant to happen for their magic to work. It has to be meant to happen. When I say this, it's almost like it's being based off of Christian dogma and a lot of Wicca. No offense to those who may be Wiccans, but there are a lot of Wiccan books I have seen which are still pretty Christian based, like really Christianized in the way they fundamentally affect change. This doesn't mean that all Wicca is necessarily not useful. I still utilize some aspects of it for nature workings, and when I say this, I'm not referring to anything specific, such as the actual Wiccan creeds or anything like that. I have no interest in any of those, but the actual elements, such as focusing a lot on specific days and utilizing specific herbs for specific purposes, I can still do all that and enjoy the hell out of that, because I really enjoy the world of herbs. You see, whenever you want to try to think about how far magic can go, it doesn't matter what spirituality you're in. Every spirituality, whether you know this or not, has a form of magic. They simply do not call it magic. They call it prayer, they call it meditation, they call it whatever. But a lot of these people that are the higher ups in every single religion are aware of magic and use it for ceremonial purposes. This is why I say always, always discern what works for you and what does not. Because you see, if you do things in a specific manner that someone tells you to do, well, that's really delaying the effect of your eventual magical process of learning new things. It's delaying your magical, the probability of your magical workings taking place is because someone else is telling you how to do them, or someone else is telling you that you're doing it wrong, or someone else is telling you that you can't do it. I've experienced a lot of doubt in my life and realized now that doubt is completely irrelevant to magic. And the reason this is so is that doubt kills motivation. Doubt kills hope. Doubt kills inspiration. All these things. Doubt is not needed. Doubt is natural. Sometimes doubt is needed to a certain degree, but it's not needed to encompass all of the mind. If only to inspire the mind to stay focused, then doubt can be very useful if a person chooses to transform it. So, if you experience... Sorry, I just really have a dry throat. If you experience any doubt at all, then your best bet is to either continue with what you're doing. Force yourself to keep doing it. It's like running, say you're running a track somewhere at school, I don't know, football field, you're running around it. Let's say you can't walk the whole way, because this is, just use it as an example. You can run or you can jog. Try running most of it if you can, but if you have to jog, then do so. But do not slow down so much that you're just walking and being sluggish. Continue to move and never stand still on your path of magical working. One of the most deadly things a magician can do is nothing. Because a magician does not do nothing. A magician acts. A magician enacts their will. Male or female, they enact their will. They have to act. You see, for a while, I can admit, I was getting into the habit of just being someone collecting books and never ever reading any of them. Never ever utilizing the practices I was being fortunate enough to come across in the first place. And it's really snapped me out of it whenever I just thought, you know what the fuck am I doing? When I was younger, I did more magic than I've been doing recently. What's wrong with me? And that alone told me something, so I began practice again. And, well, after a lengthy working in the past, I am back to do magic. I always will do magic. I cannot leave it. So, if magic works for you, if magic's something you're interested in, realize how far can it go? Well, it can go as far as you want it to. But it will never end. You will never know everything there is to know. You can only keep learning and build and build and build on it. Like a foundation. You don't just simply stop putting effort towards it. You continue to build it. You continue to add to it. You continue to think of ways to make it more stable and perfect. Just work and be patient with yourself and with the elements of magic. If you are not patient, then you will accomplish absolutely nothing, and your magic will not go anywhere. And the farthest you will go will simply be where you stand, and nothing.